Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to talk to you guys about BCAAs. We've done videos on BCAAs or branched-chain amino acids in the past, specific products. And we get a lot of questions all the time, so we just decided, hey, let's just make a video on it to kind of clarify our position on BCAAs and what they are and what 3 amino acids are the branched-chain amino acids. Well, there are 3 of the 9 essential amino acids.
Leucine, isoleucine, and valine.
Okay, yeah, and the leucine is glucogenic. Ketogenic. Isoleucine is both ketogenic and glucogenic, and valine is glucogenic, which basically means if it's ketogenic, it can be converted to ketone bodies, and if it's glucogenic, it can be converted to glucose, so via process of gluconeogenesis. So that's those 3 amino acids. Now, they make up about 1/3 of muscle tissue in humans. So of the protein within humans, if you were to look at the amino acid sequence, about 1/3 of it is made of BCAAs. So they're pretty abundant in muscle tissue. So that's part of why they've become so popular. And what are some rich sources of BCAAs?
Whey protein, casein protein, those are probably the 2 highest, I think.
Okay. So we get a lot of questions, hey guys, should I take BCAAs, or why should I take them, and so on and so forth. So, well, it really depends upon what you're doing, what your goals are, and things like that. So real quick, let's just run through some of the actual benefits that we know from BCAAs. Obviously, we covered the fact that it makes up a large percentage of muscle. So whey and casein are good results. Now, there's some evidence that shows that leucine, which seems to be the heavyweight of the 3 of the amino acids, we know it's basically what's responsible for activating the mTOR pathway. But specifically, it may decrease appetite.
There are some studies showing it can decrease appetite. And also, going back to the leucine thing, you'll notice a lot of the BCAA formulas, they list the highest amount of leucine. Like this is a 2-to-1-to-1 ratio, just a pure BCAA powder. There's some that are 4-to-1-to-1, 8-to-1-to-1, but the larger number is generally the leucine.
And what they've been used on burn victims and people in hospitals, and they've had some success with people being able to take that sometimes intravenously, depending upon the condition of the patient. But today we're just here to focus on otherwise healthy individuals, athletes. If you're trying to put on muscle, things like that. So the real question is, with BCAAs, this is the best way I can explain it. We know that there's 9 essential amino acids. This makes up 3 of them. Let's say we're building a house and we have 9 different bricks that we're building the house with, and we have a certain pattern that requires that of those 9 bricks, 3 of them tend to occur more than the rest of them. So we build our house and we get to the end and we have all these extra of these 3 bricks, BCAAs, we don't need because we decided to supplement or buy a bunch of extra bricks. It's rate limiting. You only need so many of them. At some point, you reach a critical mass. So the question is, by supplementing a bunch of extra BCAAs, that mean that the purported effects are just going to just go up exponentially? Well, no. There's a limit to, it's like priming a pump without fuel. You're only giving yourself so much. Priming the protein pump without protein, it's just not, you're not going to get that benefit.
Exactly. Plus, you're not getting the rest of the bricks needed to build that house. Or let's say building muscle, you need those other essential amino acids to build the muscle.
Exactly. And we know through research, if you peel through it, you'll tend to see that we know what's the best remedy is. It's protein. It's peptide-bonded amino acids. Rather than trying to put together your own free-form amino acid formulas, we know that peptide-bonded amino acids are what seems to benefit the most. Now, this isn't to deny benefits of branched-chain amino acids, because there's a ton. We know that. We can read the studies. We're not saying, hey, cut branched-chain amino acids out of your diet, like you find proteins without them. That would be stupid, because obviously you still need them because they're essential amino acids. In other words, your body can't make them. You have to get them from an exogenous source, aka your diet. So we're not denying that. We're not saying leucine doesn't activate the mTOR pathway, which basically is it's a cell signaler. It tells your body to turn on protein synthesis, basically. Well, other things do that too, insulin. So if you take in some calories, so we get a lot of questions, hey, I'm on this weight gainer, serious mass or something, should I be taking BCAAs? Well, no, you're sucking down calories left and right. You're not in a hypocaloric state, a low-calorie state, where your body needs those extra calories, or it needs to have the mTOR pathway turned on from BCAAs.
Yeah, because you're getting all these calories, you're getting all this protein coming to your body, and like we had said, rich sources would be whey and casein. And most people taking supplements are probably taking a whey casein powder. You're getting a lot of protein and a lot of branched chains from that. Your food sources. So if you are in a hypercaloric, meaning excess calories, there's really not a need for BCAAs. Whereas a hypo, meaning you're taking less calories, yes, maybe you're not getting in enough protein, or maybe you're going long periods of time without meals, so there may be some benefits there.
Yeah, you can use them at that point. That would be one group that we'd say, hey, if you're on a low-calorie diet, then it makes sense. If you want to use BCAAs, that's fine. Now, that's not your only, you have alternatives. You could also use some whey protein or something like that. But I could also understand why if you're about to go work out, you might not want to suck down protein because you don't want too much blood allocated to your gut, so maybe the little bit more rapid absorption from the free-form amino acid may make sense, or you find some kind of hydrolyzed protein. So that's one group that would benefit from BCAAs. Again, it's not the only thing you could take, like we said. Another couple groups would be vegetarians or vegans. You're probably not getting a very good amino acid profile in your diet if you're just, a vegan or a vegetarian now. Although a lot of those powders have improved, you may not even be using those powders. So supplementing with BCAAs would probably be a good idea for those people.
Yeah, and I mean, get you in the branched chain amino acids. It's a lot of those are lacking in the plant.
Yeah, a lot of their sources are not enough because a lot of vegans, or vegetarians, they find they have to piece together things to make complete protein. Sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of vegan or vegetable protein sources you see are now piecing together 3 or 4 different vegetable-based.
And a lot of them are actually fortifying with BCAAs on top of that too, so you'll see that as well. So we're not saying that there's benefits don't exist. So we don't want to read comments where you guys are saying. We're not denying that. We're just trying to explain, hey, this is when they're useful, and there's a lot of hyperbole about research out there that, hey, I read that leucine does this. I'm sure it does. But you also are getting leucine in your protein, too. And it's best handled when you're getting all 20 amino acids, ideally, because we tend to underscore the value of non-essential amino acids. Just because they're not essential doesn't mean you should not get them in your diet. So taking in protein, a good whey protein shake, casein, things like that, we know there's a lot of benefits to that, and that's the most beneficial. You're better off doing that than just say, well, I'm just going to take the 9 essential amino acids, and you're forcing your body to have to make those other amino acids, which it can do, but why do that when you could just ingest them? So
another thing too is a lot of people think they're just going to take BCAAs and build all kinds of muscle. And like John had said earlier, taking BCAAs by themselves or in addition to everything else, you're not giving yourself all of the amino acids needed to build muscle. A good, like John had said, with a hypocaloric diet, low calories and things like that, while it stimulates the mTOR pathway, it's not actually out there building the muscle. You need the other amino acids to build the muscle. So it is something that can, yes, it can halt catabolism or muscle breakdown during a workout. But if you're consuming a lot of calories, again, you're getting enough of these BCAAs.
Yeah, you've got it covered. And if you only, let's just say you were on a desert island and we gave you water and BCAAs only, well, you'd die because there's 6 other essential amino acids. You need the other ones. So, yeah, that pretty much covers it. I mean, I think we covered all your guys' questions. When to take it, that's another one. As you said, sometimes throughout the day for somebody who's on those lower calorie diets or vegetarian, vegan, you can throw it in with your maybe your foods. Maybe you just want to mix it up. There's good flavored ones. And it doesn't hurt, by the way, just to throw that in. If it is in your pre-workout or something you like to drink intra-workout, it doesn't hurt to have it in there. So we don't want to be like, hey, I'm not going to get this because it has it in there. Don't let that be part of the criteria. Just understand when you need it and when you don't. So pre-workout, sometimes people like to sip on it during your workout if you're on those lower calorie diets. Again, if you're the guy who's going to come home then and drink a weight gainer after your workout, I mean, don't bother. Just don't. Save your money. Yeah. So if you guys have any other questions on this, please. I know it's kind of a broad topic. We tried to go through it on a more of a topical level, but we're happy to answer more detailed questions. If you want to post them in the comments section of the video or the blog, we're happy to answer them. Also, you can check us out at facebook.com/bestpricenutrition. We really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.
Thank you.